in Kerala, the RSS attack on RSS began somewhere in 1948 when the work began there. It picked up pace in 1960s, where the current Chief Minister was the first person, one of the first persons to be accused of that particular murder of the RSS worker. He got free because the case may have not been put up properly. From then onwards, it is continuous violence. Does anyone speak about the RSS, the killings of the RSS volunteers? None. RSS struggle on the road itself, on the streets itself. Its people also suffered. They went to jail. They suffered imprisonment. All this happened in a very, very in an atmosphere which was totally anti-Hindu, anti-RSS. Whether it was Congress party or whether it was communist-led alliances, they suffered. They kept on struggling. They kept on growing. Then where did they get support from? From the organization itself. Now, if you say that organization doesn't do enough, did anybody come up and did the society rise? And did RSS seek some kind of justification for what is happening to it? No. It knew it has been attacked despite its non-violent work. It struggled, it fought against those people and paid a price. So the lesson is that society has to rise. Because despite that, RSS and Hindu society kept on working and uniting in Kerala, and today's situation is much different from what it was earlier. As far as Bengal is concerned, who controls the law and order? Like in Kerala, it was either left or right. Here, left or Congress, and here in Bengal, it was earlier Marxist, then Congress, then TMC, and first Congress, then CPM, then the TMC. Everybody is relied on violence continuously. In a state, in a law and order situation, what does center do? Today, the 356 is not so easy to implement. This was done by opposition Janata Party government because they realized it's misused by Mrs. Gandhi continuously. They tried to improve the situation and they modified the laws so as per democratic norms you cannot easily dissolve the assembly or put in president's rule. And if the people who are governing, the so-called secular people who have democratic, supposedly democratic government, go on oppressing people, creating state violence, then how do you think that RSS, who itself is being targeted, should respond? So the counter question is then how does a private organization, an organization of the people without government power, should support the people when then itself is suffering?
Right.
It stands up to the people. The reason they are being targeted because even post-poll violence, it was only RSS, BHP which stood the ground, which supported the people, went to file cases. Even the ground level BJP workers there all the while trying to somehow fight back. But when entire state machinery against you, either you accept that this particular government is totally non-democratic and Supreme Court takes a suo motu action and says this must stop, or this kind of lawlessness will continue. In Rajasthan, same thing has happened. So to blame the so-called democratic secular parties, not to blame them but to blame RSS, BJP is really a travesty. People are saying so, are they doing disservice to the Hindu society and to the nation itself? They are twisting the entire argument. The people who should control the law and order, whom you elected, whether I was there or whosoever, people elected, they are not responsible, but somebody outside the state, somebody outside the government, that organization is responsible. What kind of logic is this? This is defeatist. This is only trying to divert people's attention, and these people either do not understand what is the politics and democratic norms or constitution, or they are deliberately trying to play mischief and trying to put the onus on the people who themselves suffers. Unfortunately, RSS, BJP or Jews don't play victim card. They don't go to international players. They don't create a tamasha outside, even though if they're not suffered like Muslims. So this so-called Islamophobia being used to measure and slam other communities and create hate is a tool that has to be exposed. And anybody is trying to shift the blame on organizations which are working on the ground under huge oppression by the state government itself. They have to think again. Has anybody gone to Calcutta High Court and put a case against the TMC government? Has anybody, any worthy in Kerala, gone to the Supreme Court and put a petition against what is happening in Kerala? If they have not, but use the simple legal tool, they have no right to tell the people who are actually working on the field to protect themselves.